Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where our war support is not doing so well. We should probably do something about that. So we're going to run some war propaganda, we're going to exhort heroism, we're going to encourage frugality, and we're going to bolster spirits. That is all absolutely wonderful. We could also improve worker conditions, and that's maybe not the worst idea here. That is going to eat up some of our consumer goods factories, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and do that. That will be absolutely fine. We can also work on our cryptology department. Let's get going on that. And let's talk a bit about the state of the war here. So we've had some pretty major developments in this war. No doubt about that. Australia has fallen. Africa is nearly wrapped up. We just need to take this area here. Now, these guys, are any of these in the war out over here? I think there's some British, or rather Canadian forces here, but I don't think Danish and Niger. They're in the European Association faction. They're a puppet of Denmark, but they don't appear to be in the war. Okay, so that's good to know. So that means that there is not actually a border over here. So that's excellent. Very, very good. We're going to push through this eventually. It's a bit grindy, but we'll make our way through. Now, up in Germany, things have slowed down for us, mostly due to a lack of supply up in this region. Supplies are a little bit rough for us, but we did just take this supply hub. Apparently. No, we're building that supply hub. Okay, right. That's fine. We would love to get that supply hub built, for sure. We're going to need additional supplies up there. As far as Denmark goes, this is going to fall quite soon, I have a feeling. They have very little in terms of supply capacity here, and that's fine. There is an incursion that has started up over here in Norway, and we're working on that. So that's fine for the moment. And we do have these tank units on their way here, but it's going to take them some time to arrive. That is all absolutely fine. I want to check in on our production here. What are we short on? So we shouldn't be actually short on infantry equipment or support equipment. What I'm concerned about here is, are we short on tank chassis? And if we are, we can definitely toss in some additional production here. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw our existing new military factories at that tank production. That'll be okay. We may want to actually back off to here and throw a few extra at truck production. Something along the lines of this. Okay, so that looks reasonably fine for now. We're going to tick forward here, and we're seeing this attack is actually successful on Copenhagen. Denmark has capitulated, and that's huge. That now means we're attacking this from multiple angles. Now, I want to immediately launch this attack here. Let's get in there. We want to get this stack wiped and cleaned up. That is mission number 1 here. We have forces on the way over here, but who are these 2 divisions? Okay, right. They're going to get reassigned later. That's fine. So we're successfully attacking over here. Denmark is basically gone. We just need to work our way through these supplies and have them go away, right? So that's looking great. As far as Germany goes, supplies over here are grim, and that's the primary reason why we're having problems. If we go into our construction, we can see that this supply depot is about half complete. It will be done in July. That's okay. I've queued up a couple of railways off camera, by the way. Most of them were queued up in Africa, but there's a couple here and there that I've queued up, and that's no big deal. So we're going to be attacking over here. And we've just about got this area wrapped up. They're actually trying an attack here. That's not a good idea. But they might as well. Nothing else is going to happen here other than them getting stack wiped, right? So it doesn't... They don't really have anything to lose there. So that looks good. What do we want these units to do as soon as we get this completed? That's an interesting question, actually. So we've just about got this done. We estimate it'll last less than a day. There they go, stack wiping. Fantastic. That's looking absolutely great. So we probably could use more reinforcements up here, is what I'm thinking. So these guys here, that is this army, is going to head up over this way. We have another army on the way up here, but they're a ways away, and we can probably just offensive line something like this. We'll get there quite quickly. But what do we want these Marines to do? Now, that's an interesting question. I feel like there's not a lot for them to be doing right now. Unless we wanted to put them up here, potentially. We're currently on the defensive up in Canada, and that is reasonably fine for the moment. Supplies up here, well, it's not even really supplies. It's more just, it's tough to move through here. And that's fine. For the moment, I'm not too concerned about this. We should have sufficient forces to hold this, and we'll push them back later if necessary. So that'll be absolutely okay. We do have this unassigned division. I want that to move in somewhere around here. Now we've got this unit, and they are down this way. Are they area defending India? They are. Okay, that is noted. We've got these guys, and what are they doing? They're the guys down over here. This is another location I built some railways, by the way, and we should be able to get some attacks going down here. That's absolutely fine. I'm not too concerned about that. These guys, they don't really need to be up at this front anymore. We can put them here. So that'll be okay for now. We've got our own forces making their way in here. We've got 2 units of infantry heading here, and that should be way more than we need, actually. So we may want to consider getting these guys redirected elsewhere. They are a ways away. I feel like we have sufficient forces on the front in Germany. And sufficient forces on the front in France. Maybe we should send them down here. So they would come down this way. I'm actually going to get rid of their current orders. They would come down this direction and assist in this offensive line. So they would do something kind of like that. I guess that's reasonably fine. They can definitely come down and help with that. So that seems okay. These lads up here, they are going to take some time to get situated, but once they get here, I do expect that we're able to do something about this. I want to motorize this hub and this hub. We are kind of low on trucks, so that is maybe a little bit of a concern. But for now, this seems reasonably okay. These infantry divisions should definitely go here. Cool. So that looks reasonably fine for the moment. Did this guy? No, this guy did not lose tanks. I moved a tank from here to here. That's what that was. Okay, that is absolutely fine. So no problem there at this moment. We're going to continue pressing in over this way. And I don't think that they can bring in enough supplies to deal with a concerted attack over here. It is a level 5 naval base, though. So they have a fair amount of supplies that they can bring in. No doubt about that. But we'll see if they're able to actually bring in enough to make this into anything. If they are, we'll bring tanks up, like when we finish up attacking in Africa, and that'll be okay. So these forces are going to take a while to get into position, right? No doubt about that. I want to check in on the supply situation here. It's not too bad right now, although this should be motorized, for sure. So that looks reasonably okay for the moment. And how are we doing overall on our tank production? So we've got 40,000 that we apparently need here, and we also have this setting of tanks as well, right? Let me just move that up and put these together. Flame tanks we're doing okay on. Apparently we need 40,000 of these, but I want to check in here. So reinforcements, we can see 126 of 40,000. Okay, we are actually low on tanks. That is noted. In that case, with us actually being legitimately low on tanks, we probably do want to throw more tank production into the works. So we're going to do this for now. That is kind of maximum tank production for the moment, but we don't actually have that many factories, right? I'm going to back off on the production of our airframes here, and we'll do something like that. So 10 of those factories is being redevoted over to producing tank chassis. This is not sufficient tank chassis, probably. But okay, that seems good. So a significant shortage of tank definitely is telling. as to why we have stalled out on a lot of our offensives. That's understandable. No problem whatsoever there. In theory, we'll just need to work on that. And to that end, I want to get another production line of tanks going here. So that's going to be the modern tank chassis. And I'm going to move this guy up, and we're going to put it right with the other. So right here, we're going to immediately toss 150 factories at it. Of course, we don't have 150 factories to toss at it. That's absolutely understood. For the moment, this seems reasonably fine. I want to check in on our infantry equipment. We should have a good amount of infantry equipment. Good-ish. Good-ish. So that's fine for now. We definitely want to get this tank production going. We should have... I'm just checking our chromium count. We'll be a little short on chromium for this. Okay. That's noted. So we are going to be constrained by our chromium here. But we're actually constrained by our factories, right? So for now, this will be okay. We're just ramping that up a little bit. I'm going to tell our tanks, cease attack for now. So our tanks are going to cease attack. We're just going to attack with infantry where we have attacks set up. We do have an attack going on here. That's okay. We need to allow some time for tanks to make their way to the front. There's no doubt about that. We also may want to back off on our recruitment of armored divisions, but well, actually, what we want to do is we want to pull some armored divisions from our reserves here. And specifically, what I want to do is I want to pull this armored division. I'm going to pull like 10 or so. I'm not sure exactly how many we need. 7, 9, and I'm going to go with 11. We're going to move them here. This is obviously a wrong place to put them, but I want to put several here, and then we're going to need to pull 8 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. These guys are going to go here, and that, of course, means we pull these and put them back in that reserve theater. So something like that. We've now got these relatively maxed out. That looks good. So these Marines do not currently have orders. I kind of want to move the Marines up here and use them as the attacking force here, especially if we're not currently advancing with tanks. So we're going to have them make their way up over here. Cool. So these guys, hang on. Not you. I wanted you up here. Nope, not you. Hang on. These Marines. Okay, so with these Marines headed over this way, in theory, where are those other Marines at? They got put into this army group. Okay, there we go. That makes more sense. So let's get these guys up over here. They're going to offensive line straight down just like this. And we're going to use that soft attack that those Marines are optimized for. So that looks good. We're going to give them, say, infantry specialist. Seems okay. And let's also go with infantry expert. Cool. I don't know if Marines count as infantry for those bonuses or not, but they probably should. We'll grab Fortress Buster here. Machine-assisted decryption. Yes, that's fine. Let's go with Fortress Buster here as well. What does this guy have? He can get a tactic? Sure. We're going to go for breakthrough. Actually, that's an infantry guy. Let's go for, say... okay, we're lacking command power. That's fine. So this is an armored division here. That's going to go into this reserve unit, which is here. Okay, cool. So that looks absolutely fine. We are making some successful attacks out over here with our infantry. So that looks good. We may want to call a general halt to attacks everywhere except up here. And that is indeed exactly what I'm going to do. So we're only attacking over here. Everywhere else, we are currently on the defensive, and we're looking to resupply our tanks somewhat. Yes, we're falling back a bit in Canada. We should probably consider constructing a line, a defensive line here in Canada. We're falling back from this position, so I'm going to do something like this. Yeah, we're falling back from both of those positions. So something along the lines of that. So these aren't showing up correctly, but they are, in fact, queued up here. So we're just going to construct a defensive line in Canada, and we've got our defensive line here. In Germany, we can also construct a defensive line. There's not that many locations here. So that would be... Oh, that did not go the way I wanted it to. That would be something here. And we're just going to do a bit of a consolidation phase here. I want to construct here. Here. There we go. No, I want to construct here. Okay. We can't construct in Westphalia, but this will do for now. So we're just going to get that all built up. This line up here, I'm not going to bother with fortifying. We are still attacking over here, and I expect these attacks to go reasonably successfully. Cool. So we're just going to dig in a lot of locations, right? That's the overall idea here. And we want to get a bunch of tanks to the front line. So our current production level of tanks is somewhere around 50 per day. We need a lot more tanks than this. Our tank count is extraordinarily low at this point. We have a huge tank deficit of about 40,000, and I'm actually going to back off on our aircraft production down to 20 here, down to 10 here, and 10 here, and 10 here, and 10 here. There we go. So that's going to throw some 50 factories into the modern tank chassis, and we can let that begin to build up. So that'll be fine for the time being. We are going to need to continue to attack over here. Our Marines are not in position yet, but we've called a general halt to attacks at this point. And we're just going to defend these positions and dig in a little bit. So this isn't even all that many land forts that we're building. So that seems absolutely fine. We're going to get those completed, and we're going to really need to get these tanks done. We're currently losing defenses out over here. Okay, how are we doing on the... We may want to construct land forts here as a backup in case we lose this position. We shouldn't lose any of these other positions, in theory. But we'll see how this goes. So we're going to get a land fort built back here as a potential fallback, and beyond that, this will be absolutely fine. But yeah, those tank losses have been significant. We had a lot of gains in terms of land from the tank losses, but our tanks are not doing well at this point. That is for sure. So, checking in here, we're lacking about 41,000 tanks right now. I think our infantry equipment is probably reasonably good. I do want to do a region-wide industrial integration at this time, and that means, of course, that we can build a military factory somewhere. Actually, we can build two. We can build one here and one here. That looks good. We can also build one here. Okay. There's apparently a dangerous naval invasion in the Caribbean. This is fine. I'm not concerned about losing territory in the Caribbean for the moment. That is deeply, deeply unconcerning to me. So these guys are moving forward. Supplies out here are non-great. And it's not due to railroad. Okay. So these guys are not moving because it will require the next province to have require more supplies than it has capacity for. And that's okay. They can just sit back there. We're winning attacks across this front, and that's fine. I'm not concerned about that. So these attacks are going reasonably fine. If we can manage to take this, that's absolutely huge. But just pushing them back here is good. So that is absolutely solid. No problem whatsoever here. Autosave finishing up. Dangerous naval invasion in southern Norway. Out over here? I don't see a naval invasion there for now, but if there is, we'll deal with it. So that seems absolutely okay. We are certainly seeing our manpower quantity ticking down, and it's ticking down pretty quickly right now. So how much of that is due to attrition? How did they get here? I guess they must have landed here, and then these guys took it over? I don't know. That's very strange. That is very strange indeed. Okay. Well, we're winning attacks up over this way. This is the only place we are launching any attacks. These guys are now cut off, and that's excellent. We're very, very glad to see that. Let's just continue to move through here. Yeah, we're currently losing attacks here, but these will get stack wiped. That's looking good. That's now all winning. So that's all fantastic. These guys have no access to supply, so I really want to eliminate them. We don't really have any forces super nearby, so that's, you know, mildly awkward. No doubt about that. That is certainly mildly awkward. I want to check in on our tank supply at this point. So down to lacking 40,000 tanks. We're definitely making progress on that, but it's not as high as I'd like. I'm going to move this medium tank template down here, and we're going to tell them, make sure that this is gone. Okay, so that looks good for now. We don't have huge amount of attrition anywhere, I feel like, except for, like, over here in Canada. We're currently backing off from this. We're losing that attack there. Where is this in terms of our land forts? Okay, we should build land forts here as well. We have not succeeded in building land forts here, so that's not necessarily shocking. This has been under constant attack, so that is reasonably fine. We're going to make sure that land forts get built here, and that is just going to fortify up that area. They're not really going to be able to press in anywhere, so that seems great. We've made progress over here in this naval invasion area. Looks good. But of course, we are seeing our manpower continue to tick down. Our lack of war support is a big part of this, no doubt about that. Our lack of war support is not great. So that's fantastic. Let's see, this Mountaineer and Infantry Division here, we could consider sending that over here, and I think we're going to. So that looks good. The lack of tanks is our primary issue, though. It's not so much the fact that we don't have war support. It's the lack of tanks. We're working our way through that nicely. Munich just got completely nuked. Okay, that's fine for now. So we're definitely seeing some attacks over here, but as these land forts come in, that's not that much of a problem. So we can see we've already got a level of land fort here. And this level of land fort will eventually finish up if they'll ever stop attacking it. But that's a little bit tough. Okay, we're being attacked here. It's this land fort, I think. Boy, this is laggy. Yeah. Okay, so we'll see if we manage to get these all set up over here. In theory, this should be relatively fine. And we'll just need to get this area resupplied, right? So that is absolutely a-okay. We've got this under control over here. Our French line is, of course, very solid, and our German line at this point should be quite solid as well. So that's fine. And we are still working on pushing through this area, but we're making solid progress on it. I want to check in over here if we've managed to get a supply depot over here. No, we haven't. Okay. That is noted. So we'll continue to attack in this way. Looks like we got knocked back a little bit this direction, but I'm not too concerned about it. I don't want to give them time to dig in over here, of course, and we're just going to push them out as soon as we can. I'm not going to pull tanks over this way, but this will be okay. We have a bit of supply issues out over here, but they should have some supply issues as well, some fairly significant ones. Now, the attacks out in Canada are continuing. And this is where I think a lot of our manpower drain is coming from. So our manpower drain is certainly somewhat problematic. I want to check in on the land fort situation out here. Yeah, we've been consistently attacked here and here. We've not managed to finish up the first level of land fort here yet. And infrastructure here is a problem. Okay, I'm going to build infrastructure there. We may also be concerned about infrastructure out here. Maybe a little bit. We can get some infrastructure built in these areas. And that seems reasonably fine for now. Okay, I don't want to build too much infrastructure here. So we're just going to make sure that all of these land forts are building, and that will be absolutely fine. Now, they're going to be attacking into mountains out over here. They're going to have a very hard time attacking if we can get these land forts set up. And this will devolve into a stalemate out over here. That's exactly what we want. Eventually, they'll give up on attacking on this front. So that'll be perfect. We're currently winning this battle. We're losing this battle, but we kind of expect that. We expect to be knocked out of this area. This is now 5 land forts here, 5 land forts here. That is looking absolutely great. We've got 5 land forts in most of these areas. Boy, this is laggy. In most of these areas where we haven't been getting steadily attacked, right? So that's okay. If we can just get 1 level of land fort in these 2 areas, that would be phenomenal. However, we are getting very regularly attacked there. But look at that. We're up to 1 war support now. 1% war support. I love it. So that is very good. Very, very good. We are, of course, gaining 40k per month. But we're definitely chewing through more than that in this war. No doubt about that one. So, what do we have going on up over here at this time? Well, we are currently pushing in this way. Supplies are still very thin out over here. And I'm wondering where the supply depot is here. Yeah, that would make sense. We should motorize this, probably. That doesn't really reach, though. Okay, we may want to consider constructing a supply hub somewhere like here. Let's get going on that. That'll be fine. Do we have an issue with supplies due to development here? No, supplies scaled to 82% due to not having full control of the state. Fair enough. So that is okay for the time being. Checking in over here at Canada. Things are, of course, grim in these 2 provinces where we've been continuously attacked. Absolutely continuously attacked. There's a naval invasion in South America here, and we can grab some of these forces and just head on off over here. I want to split this force in half, and we're going to have these guys be here. We're going to have them offensive line here, and then these guys are going to offensive line here. Okay, so we'll get that dealt with. We don't want them in South America. That's for sure. How are things going up this way? Well, it's a little bit grim. No doubt about that. The supply problem is the core issue here. So that's fine. That will get dealt with. Looks like out over here is not currently being attacked. Where are we at for that land fort? It should be almost done, right? 9 August, so tomorrow it would get finished. And there's an ongoing battle. Okay. It's incredibly close. This one may be done at this point. Yes, this one is done. So it is far more likely that we hold this province now. This province is the only one of concern at this moment. So that'll finish up fairly soon. That battle is now done. And there's 1 level of land fort built there. So we should have this under control now. Absolutely fine. This should devolve into a stalemate, and there should be nothing more going on there. Okay, so we're successfully attacking over this way. Ah, I see. We were forced out of this area. They attempted to pocket these troops down over here. That is reasonably fine. I want these Marines to, like, really get in here. Like, it doesn't matter. Just get to the front. Get in here. So we're going to tell the Marines to get in there. We really need them to help out. At this point, these guys are going to come here. There we go. There's an attack happening over here by this cavalry brigade. Okay. That is not a sanctioned attack. I want to be clear about that. And we're currently lacking 38,000 modern tanks. Okay. So we're making progress on that tank production. No doubt about that. How are we doing on our optimization here? Okay, that's making some gains. That looks good. So we're currently at 5.45 per day here. That's going to go up by quite a lot still. Wonderful. And we can see over here, the attacks here have largely stopped. They're no longer interested in attempting to push into this area. So that seems wonderful. We're going to send these guys here. Looks good. And the Marines are going to be arriving here shortly. But it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue to restock our tanks. And we're probably going to restart our attacks, at least in a limited capacity, in some areas. I'm currently thinking that we restart attacks in the south of France here. We probably just hold the line in Canada for the moment. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.